Hold on, let's go to the first album.
Yeah.
Let's go to that.
Yeah.
November 7th, 1995. Soul Food drop. Yeah.
Amazing.
Where was you? Do you remember when it was coming out, what it was leading up to it, and how did it feel when that did finally come out, y'all first album?
Well, the reason why Soul Food was so special is because Soul Food was recorded in Southwest Atlanta at Curtis Mayfield House.
Wow.
That's dope.
Yeah.
So just imagine we get our budget for our album. We flying high Outcast Platinum, man. We like, bus stop. Man, we done spent all my checks.
Yeah.
At Greenbrier and the flea market. I'm talking about, I went and got a paint job and slugged up. Broke. Right back, bro. I don't care. We out here. We back. You know what I mean? Everybody went, we broke. So it was like, Reek was like, yo, what people don't understand is that we never could record in the dungeon.
Mm-hmm.
We never could record in the dungeon.
Why is that?
Because the dungeon was nothing but a dugout crawl space. Mm-hmm. Like, if y'all ever get a chance, go over there to the house. You gotta get a chance to go walk through the house. When you go downstairs, Big Boy and glass the whole downstairs in so you can walk down the steps and be where we actually was making all the music. Mm-hmm. So it was like an older house, and when you walk downstairs, it was like just where they just dug out a square where they could put the furnace and shit like that, and then just left dirt. So
it really was a dungeon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So our walls was red dirt. You know what I mean? And we sat up on a little raggedy table. That's our first SB12. And that's where it started. And we would be organized noise would be right here, Outkast behind them, and then the rest of us would be lined up the steps. And we'd sit there and listen to the same track for days, 2-3 weeks, same music. You know what I mean? So for me personally, like, after we got our budget for Goodie Mob, Reek was like, check this out. We ain't going to Boss Town. We ain't going to Doppler. We gonna go to Curtis Mayfield House. We gonna stay in the hood and knock the Goodie Mob out. We recorded Outkast at Boss Town.
Okay.
You know what I mean? But Goodie Mob was the hood. So we started recording, man, in Curtis Mayfield House. It was so special because you was able to walk into his bedroom. First of all, we didn't even know Curtis Mayfield stayed in Atlanta. First of all,
now.
We didn't know he stayed right around the corner from the churches. Nigga could walk to the churches, man. So we sit there like, dang, okay, Curtis Mayfield right here. So in his bedroom, bro, he had all the original songs from Superfly, the 2-inch reels. He kept all of them in his bedroom. And he was like, yo, Gipp, that's when he taught me about publishing. He said, yo, Gipp, before you ever sell your publishing, don't never sell your publishing till you ready to leave the game. That's what you retire on. So I always kept that in my mind. And at the same time, he said, hey, Gipp, go in my closet. You see anything in there you like? I said, man, I like this sweatsuit, huh? He said, you can have that. That's the sweatsuit I got on Soul Food album. It's Curtis Mayfield sweatsuit.
No, that's cold.
So like, we was so much kind of like being taken in by the elders during that time because they were seeing promise in us. Like, we ain't seen this kind of excitement since the SOS band. The SOS band, people don't know the girl used to work in Greenbrier. She was like the first star we seen. Cause she was the first girl when we were kids, and we go up there for for Halloween, all that shit. She was the girl that used to be up in the record store, at the counter, and then the next year they turned into the SOS band. So she was one of the people that everybody knew in the hood. She from right here, and if she can do it, everybody can do it. So that's the reason why Greenbrier has always been a place where people went to see if they could find talent, because that girl from SOS band used to work in the record store.
That's cold. Did you feel like you made it once Soul Food dropped? Or did you feel like it's still more work to be done?
It was work to be done because that first album was a fight. because we in the middle of the goddamn gangster era, and we in the middle of the goddamn pop bottle era.
But y'all came out a little different compared in '95 to what was previously coming out, like you talked about, booty shaking, bass music.
Right.
Y'all came out on some street, really, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it
Y'all
was.
sound was.
But see, people didn't know what Goodie Mob was gonna sound like. You know, because they only had Get Up, Get Out, and Call It a While. So from just them 2 records, you couldn't really tell. You were kind of like, is Goodie Mob gonna come out and sound like Outkast? But so to come back and do a record like Cell Therapy, it was so far away from what Outkast did, and it was so different that it made people stop and look.
Can you explain Cell Therapy a little bit, the making of that? Like what made y'all go in that direction?
Recording the album during them times, and we was in the middle of Soul Food, and Reek them was up at dark, working on TLC records, right? And Buster was in the other room, the other room. Buster and Rampage. Rampage was signed to Dallas during that time, so Buster used to be always in Atlanta.
Gotcha.
So Buster and Rube started talking. You know, Rube Brainiac, Buster Brainiac. He came in there, hey Rube, man, look, I got this book, look. Check that out, man. See what you think about it. A whole little pair of horse. Okay. So big fella brought it back to the dungeon. Big fella read that shit in one night. Like, hey, everybody need to read this. And we kind of were like, huh? Man, we hood. He's like, nope, everybody need to read this. And we all read that book. And when we read that book, and they hit the beat. Dun, 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 dun. What y'all got? Dun, 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 dun. What y'all got? You know what I mean? Yeah. And Khujo started it off, bro. Like Khujo is the nucleus of Goodie Mob. Khujo is, he the godfather. He the one. It's always been Khujo and the P-Funk Goodie Mob. That shit started in Dixie Hill. That shit started in the trap. You know what I mean? That was Khujo, him and his crew. You know what I mean? Khujo and the P-Funk Goodie Mob. So we took that from hustling in Dixie Hill and we turned that into Goodie Mob.